So I want to show you what I'm doing here. You know, he told me to weed the garden, but you know, being an innovator and being a thinker and having watched some videos on what's called green manure, what I'm doing instead is I notice that these plants carry a lot of, you know, a lot of the soil. So if I was to pull these plants out, I don't know if you can see that here, and toss them, here's one, watch this here, look. Look how much soil is in this plant. So what I'm doing instead is, here they got cucumbers growing here, is just pulling and moving it up. So what I'm actually doing is a couple things. One is I'm ensuring that the soil stays in the garden. Number two is I'm using the weed as kind of like a ground cover that's going to keep the light out and stop other weeds from growing. And number three, what I'm doing is actually, you know, creating kind of a green fertilizer. So look at this here. Watch this. Look how much soil is in these things. Some of these are massive. And what they're doing is suffocating these plants, right? So just pulling it and putting it down, and what you want to do is actually create a more dynamic soil. And if you keep doing this, what you're going to do is end up with a much better bed, right? So, you know, he's probably going to say, you know, and I think he's going to agree with me when I explain what I'm doing. And, you know, because look at all this soil. If I was to throw this out, I'm losing this much soil, and you're losing soil from your garden. So when you weed, I think it's better. See, look at all that soil. Is just put it back up in here, right? So I'm moving soil from the middle area here, right? And these here, as you can see, I'm doing the same thing with the onions here. Pulling these little things out and leaving it here. Right, using it as green manure. So I go back here, through here, yeah, just throwing it up here. Right, I didn't get this out here, did I? Right, and throwing it up in there. And you can see what I've done is started to do it around the corn. Right, they've got corn growing up here. So grabbing it and putting it up on the corn here, just pulling out the stuff and just leaving it there. Pull it out and just let it rot. Also, the other thing that it does is as this stuff decomposes, it generates heat, keeps the roots, keeps the ground. So your stuff's going to grow better in warmer ground, right? Especially on the colder days. Which actually gives me an idea for, like, if you've got plants like over winter that don't like the cold, surround them with a bunch of compost, because the compost is going to basically decompose and generate heat, and it's not going to freeze. So I'm going to try that next year. So this is where I've done so far. And same thing with the tomatoes. I was pulling it all out. See, here's what I was doing. Right? And then I decided, you know what? This is the normal way. There's a compost heap over there, but he doesn't really need it because he has got cow manure coming in there. And instead, I'm going to actually put all this back around the tomatoes, because otherwise it's going to grow back up. I think that looks a lot healthier. To me, that looks so much better than this, right? Because that grass is just going to die and it's going to trap moisture, which is good. It's going to keep more moisture in there. It's going to trap heat. It's going to keep heat off if there's too much heat, right, on it. And you're creating a natural ground cover. What do you think? You agree? Disagree? Is that how you weed? Let me know. Here I am at Oketa Farm. Beautiful here. There's a carpenter bee. There's a chestnuts there flowering. I see a bee on it there, moving around really fast. Looks like a couple solitary bees chasing each other. So, cool.